So, you're thinking about a trip to Japan. It's an absolute dream destination, right? But before you start packing, there's one massive question you have to answer. How long can you actually stay there? Today, we're going to break down all the rules, the risks, and exactly how to plan your visit so you can squeeze the most out of every single day. Let's just start with the magic number. It's 90. Yep, 90 days. If you're holding a US passport, Japan offers this incredibly generous visa-free stay for up to 90 consecutive days. This is your golden ticket for tourism, short business trips, you name it. But, and this is a big but, here's where you really need to listen up. 90 days sounds super straightforward, I get it. But Japan's immigration laws are no joke. They are incredibly strict. One tiny misstep can have these huge, long-lasting consequences that can turn that dream trip into a total nightmare. It's way more than just counting days. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, that's what we're going to figure out today. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know to navigate Japan's entry rules like an absolute pro, whether you're just staying for a week or you're planning a much bigger adventure.
Okay, first things first, let's really dig into this 90-day golden ticket. We're going to get a crystal clear idea of what this whole visa waiver thing actually is, how it works, and what you need to have ready to go before you even think about getting on that plane. So the official name for this is temporary visitor status, and the two words you have to burn into your brain are non-paid activities. We'll get more into that in a second, but here's another critical point. That 90-day clock, it starts ticking the absolute moment you clear immigration. Your arrival day is day one, no exceptions. The good news is the requirements are pretty straightforward, but you have to have everything lined up perfectly. Now, notice this. Your passport only needs to be valid for your stay, not 6 months beyond like a lot of other countries demand. But, and this is a big one, you absolutely must have proof of onward travel, like your flight home. And you should be ready to show you've got enough money to support yourself during the trip.
So you made it. You're through immigration, you've got 90 days of adventure ahead of you, but what are you actually allowed to do? This is where the rules get even more specific, and you really don't want to get this wrong.
You can see it laid out here pretty clearly. The basic rule is this. If you're not getting paid by a Japanese company or person, you're usually good to go. Sightseeing, business meetings, as long as they're unpaid, visiting friends, even some unpaid volunteer work, all fine. The hard red line is drawn at anything that makes you money inside Japan. That means no paid jobs, no enrolling in college, and definitely no activities that even hint that you're trying to set up shop and live there permanently. Aha! And now for the question that every digital nomad and remote worker is asking. Can you work your American job from a cool coffee shop in Tokyo? Well, this is where things get a little gray. So here's the deal. Officially, the answer is a hard no. Any work you do while you are physically in Japan technically requires a work visa. Now, are immigration officers going to be checking your laptop for work emails? Probably not, but it's a risk. If they see a pattern, you keep making these long 80 or 90-day trips, they might start to suspect you're basically living and working there, and they could deny you entry on your next trip. And that brings us to a super important point. What happens when your 90 days are up? Let me tell you. Pushing the limits, even by just one single day, can have some really severe consequences. Let's look at exactly what you're risking. First off, let's be perfectly clear on this. Overstaying isn't a minor oopsie. The moment you are in the country on day 91, you are in violation of Japan's Immigration Control Act. There's no grace period, there's no I didn't know, you're just in violation of the law. And the penalties, they start with a huge fine. We're talking up to 3 million yen. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 20,000 US dollars. That is a staggering amount of money for what might seem like a small mistake. But honestly, the fine is just the start. As you can see, the real damage is long-term. The length of your overstay is directly tied to how long you'll be banned from ever coming back to Japan. Overstay by just under a year, and you can get hit with a 1-year ban. Stay longer, and you could be looking at a 5 or even 10-year ban from the country. This quote here really says it all. It is just not worth the risk. The consequences are massive, and they can follow you for years. It might even make it harder for you to get visas for other countries, since many share immigration data. So what about the classic visa run? Hopping over to South Korea for a weekend to reset your 90-day clock? My advice? Don't even think about it. Japanese immigration officers are trained to spot these patterns.
They have total authority to turn you away if they think you're trying to live in Japan on a tourist visa. It is a huge gamble, and it's one that you'll probably lose.
So if visa runs are a bad idea, what's the right way to stay in Japan for more than 90 days? The great news is, Japan has a very clear, very well-defined system for people who want to stay long-term. Let's look at the proper way to do it. See, Japan has this highly organized system with specific visas for just about every purpose. The most common ones are work visas for professionals, student visas if you're enrolled in a school, and family-based visas if you're married to a Japanese citizen. There are even cool specialized visas for things like cultural activities if you wanted to study martial arts or tea ceremony. Now, if you want to stay long-term, you need to know about this one document. It's called the Certificate of Eligibility, or COE for short. I want you to think of this thing as the master key that unlocks your long-term visa. It's basically a pre-approval from Japanese immigration saying, yep, this person meets our requirements. And the process works in 3 simple steps. First, your sponsor in Japan, so your new job or your language school, applies for this COE for you. Second, after they review everything, Japanese immigration approves it. Third, they mail the original COE to you back in the US, and then you take that piece of paper to a Japanese consulate to get the actual visa put in your passport. And this is so important. You cannot start this process while you are in Japan as a tourist. It has to be done from your home country. Okay, for our last section, let's look to the future. The rules for international travel are always changing, and Japan is no different. It's so important to stay on top of this stuff so you're always ready. Here's what you need to know before you go. The biggest change on the horizon is the rollout of a new system called the Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA. This is going to be a mandatory pre-travel step for all visa-free countries, and that includes the United States. So what does this actually mean for you? Well, right now, you just show up with your passport. Simple. Under the new ETA system, you'll have to fill out a quick online application and probably pay a small fee before you fly. It's basically a pre-screening that moves the immigration check from when you land at the airport to before you even leave your house. Now, the 90-day stay isn't changing, but this new step will be absolutely mandatory. So there you have it. That 90-day visa waiver is an amazing opportunity, but it comes with really clear boundaries. Overstepping them can slam the door to Japan shut for years. But if you understand the rules and you use the right channels for longer stays, you open up a whole world of possibilities. Which really just leaves one last question. Now that you know how it all works, what kind of Japanese adventure are you going to create?